Hello, my good amigos. I'm finally back. Prop Slippery Studios, kick-ass new intro I've been given. So let's get this started, shall we? Hello, every peoples. I am the Toon Critic, keeping you totally tuned for your.
When's the Sly 2 review coming out? It's been like 5 months. You said you were gonna do it. You never think about your fans. You're always thinking about your life first. In fact, what the hell is a life anyway? I liked it better when you did Thomas redubs instead of this crap. If you don't put up a new review right now, I'm unsubscribing. Silence!
Yes, I know you all have been waiting patiently. I've kind of been putting this review off for quite some time. You see, Sly 2 was supposed to be my second review, and Sly 3 would be my third. But when I set up my review schedule, I kept pushing back Sly 2 in favor of animated movie reviews. I didn't really mean for that to happen, it was kind of an accident. It's just that right when I was finishing something, another movie caught my interest, and I devoted my attention to writing that review instead of what I had originally planned. Another reason why I didn't immediately follow up with Sly 2 was, well, I wasn't sure if the Toon Critic would be a success, and that Sly 2 is one of my favorite games and possibly the best entry in the series. Topping the original review of Sly 1 would be a challenge. No, but you know me, I'm always looking for a challenge. Despite me inadvertently stalling over this for 5 months, now's the time, people. The review so many of you have been waiting for. Let's dive right back into Sly 2 Band.
Ahem.
Oh, hi, Joey.
Where's my introduction, eh? Flame boy of the 619 dynasty? Am I not good enough for an intro of some sort?
Oh, of course, how inconsiderate of me. As I stated in my Sly 1 review, I will be reviewing the whole series with my good amigo, Mr. Joey Turner, aka Train Lover 476. Better?
I think it could have been flashier, but yeah, it's much better.
But I hope you're not going to keep using that pic from your logo when you talk to represent yourself.
Well, I don't see you coming up with anything better.
Never underestimate the Toon Critic, Joey.
Yay! I is an animated form! The franchise star is in the building! Foreshadowing.
So shall I let you do the honors with the reintroductions?
Gladly. For those that don't remember, Sly Cooper made his debut on the PlayStation 2 on September 23rd, 2002. It had a fairly simple plot, a raccoon that fought a bunch of baddies to get a book back and restore his family legacy. Its debut was met by critics with great response, despite its short replay value, simplistic controls, and the one thing that kinda bugged me the most, the one strike and you're out thing. Except for the whole horseshoe thing.
So of course, a sequel was expected. Sadly, we wouldn't get to see Sly in action for quite some time. Many of us were expecting basically the same thing from the first game, when news and screenshots of the second game hit the net. But it looks like those long 2 years were put to good use, as on September 14th, 2004, Sly Cooper made his glorious return in Sly 2 Band of Thieves.
Alright, enough with the exposition, Meg. Time for the reviewing. This is Sly 2 Band of Thieves.
Roughly about 2 years have passed since Clockwork's defeat. We rejoin our heroes in a natural history museum in Cairo, where Clockwork's frame and parts are stored.
Well, hold the phone. Didn't we see the parts just lying in the lava in the volcano back in Russia? That must be some pretty heavy-duty steel or something.
And also, why are the parts being kept in storage? Don't they realize with something that evil, they should have destroyed it the moment they could? I mean, the only reason I could see why they were even keeping the parts is for, like, military testing or something like that, but it's never explained.
We see that Bentley has decided to make a hands-on approach with the missions, and Murray has developed a persona for himself.
Greetings, citizen! I hope you weren't harmed by my meteoropic entrance.
No, Murray, I kept at a safe distance.
Good. The Thunderflop knows neither friend nor foe, only destruction.
Wow, as if that isn't an obvious reference. Upon reaching the room where they are keeping the Clockwork parts, they discover the parts have already been stolen. And who should be waiting there for Sly but Inspector Carmelita Fox and her new partner, Constable Neela.
Freeze, Cooper!
Inspector Fox, as beautiful and unpredictable as ever.
Whereas you crooks are so predictable. You always return to the scene of the crime.
Crime? I haven't stolen anything. Yet.
Hey, wait a second, that doesn't sound like Carmelita.
You remember me saying how they keep switching voice actors for every game for her, right? Well, she's got a new one, and a new accent this time. One that I could actually understand.
Instead of Roxana Ortega's Spanish accent, she's voiced by Alicia Guildwell with an American accent. You know, they did the same thing with constantly changing the voice actresses per game for, like, Cinder in the Spyro series.
At first, not at all surprisingly at this point, Carmelita accuses Sly of stealing the parts. But Nayla suggested that the Cooper gang isn't actually behind it, and that it resembles a Claw gang job. After a quick getaway, Sly sets out to track down the elusive Claw gang with our first cutscene.
Carmelita's just as angry as ever. She's really quite lovely when she's angry. And that Constable Neela, was a reference to the Claw Gang just a slip of the tongue, or an intentional clue? Either way, it's her only lead on the missing Clockwork parts. Clockwork. He was consumed with jealousy for the Cooper clan's thieving reputation. Is it inappropriate to refer to him as a monster? No, not at all. What kind of person stays alive for hundreds of years with the express intention of wiping out a rival's family line? Imagine the hatred fueling that first decision to replace his mortal body with soulless machinery. Ultimately, it did the trick. Clockwork lived on. He caught up with my parents, and I wound up in an orphanage. It's there that I met my pals, Bentley, the brains of our outfit, and Murray, the brawn. They turned out to be all the family I needed. 2 years ago, I thought I'd finished it. How naive to think I could so easily put an end to that kind of hatred. And now he's back. In pieces, sure, but the threat is real. Does the Claw Gang even realize what they've stolen? I don't know what's in my future, but I won't let it be a repeat of my past.
Well, at least the Claw Gang uses what they've stolen to their full potential. Our first member of the Claw Gang is Dimitri, a nightclub owner in Paris. He uses the clockwork tail feathers for money printing. While he may look menacing, just listen to how he talks.
You think you can swing the bat? Show your bling and let me shine you.
I have no idea what you're saying. And your suit sucks.
You know, it doesn't really help when the first way you act is making Vanilla Ice look like a sophisticated person. While in Little Gay Paris, Nayla decides to lend you a hand in some of the missions. Oh yeah, because when you're a thief, your one true best friend is always gonna be a cop. Especially a sexy, leopard, purple, whatever she is cop. You got a bullseye on your back, Sly.
After defeating Dimitri, the gang head to India to tackle the dangerous Spice Lord Rajan, using the clockwork wings as decoration. Oh come on, think of what you could have done with them. Maybe you could have made like a powerful biplane with them or something. At Rajan's palace, there's a big party going on which not only Sly is secretly attending, but also Neela and Carmelita. As part of the scheme to get the wings, Sly has to dance with Carmelita to distract the crowd. In order to do so, Sly first dances with Neela to catch Carmelita's attention, which works. During the heist of the clockwork wings, Sly and Carmelita engage in a tango that captures the attention of the entire audience. Their tango remains one of the most memorable moments in the Sly Cooper series.
Thanks to this, the gang is able to make off with the wings, leaving Rajan to flee deep into the forest.
You know, somebody has to be sure to notice the wings being stolen. Unless they're stupid. In the forest, Rajan holds his secret spice operation fort, holding the clockwork heart. Using the heart's endless power supply, Rajan keeps the spices flowing and churning for maximum profit. But thanks to Nayla again, Sly is able to flood the fort and draw out Rajan to fight. Although Rajan knocks out Sly, Murray is able to successfully KO Rajan in return.
However, big surprise, Neela arrests Sly, Murray, and Rajan with ease, and even accuses Carmelita of being a secret member of the Cooper gang, using photos of her dance with Sly as evidence. Sly, Murray, and Carmelita are taken into custody by the sinister Spider-Woman named the Contessa, who runs a prison center in Prague that specializes in psychohypnosis. But they didn't catch all of the Cooper gang members, though.
Yay! Bentley finally gets to save the day! And if anyone makes a TMNT joke, they're getting a punch right to the turtle shells. Oh, and who would have guessed the Contessa is actually a secret Claw Gang member? As if the whole get-up and scary spider lady thing wasn't enough of a clue.
How does the Contessa fare into this? She possesses the clockwork eyes, which she uses to brainwash criminals. The Cooper gang chase Contessa to her gothic nightmare of a castle estate, where the Contessa wages war against the newly promoted Neela. After delving into the supernatural to drive the Contessa and Neela to launch a full-scale war on one another, in the heat of the battle, the Cooper gang managed to defeat the Contessa, successfully steal the clockwork eyes, help Carmelita escape, and evade Neela.
So far, Sly has gotten the clockwork tail feathers, wings, heart, and now the eyes. So after escaping Prague, the Cooper gang traced the spice shipments all the way to the next destination. Next stop, the glory that is Canada!
Here we meet the next member of the Claw Gang, named Jean Bisson, a lumberjack who was once frozen during the 19th century, then brought back to life 120 years by global warming. Through clever planning, Sly easily is able to steal the lungs and stomach in 3 successive train robberies, though Neela tries to stop you, but Bentley stops her with his RC helicopter.
Okay, is it just me, or did John Bisson get the short end of the stick when they were giving out clockwork parts? I don't even know who got the clockwork appendage.
Oh, I have a good feeling who has it. You know, 'cause she's always wanted one. But anyway, Jean Bisson leads to a sawmill where he is set to deliver a Northern Lights battery to the leader of the Claw Gang, Arpeggio, a master tinkerer and inventor. In order to get the talons, Sly and the gang enter the lumberjack games and cheat to win, though they are quickly found out and taken into custody.
Oh, and guess what? You know how you spent the whole game getting all the parts? Well, that was all part of the grand plan, because Bisson has sold all the parts right back to Arpeggio. It was probably not the smartest move to have all of them with you as you go along. With a little help from Sly, Bentley uses the sawmill machine to his advantage to beat down Bisson, and the gang makes it inside the battery, being lifted up to Arpeggio's blimp.
Infiltrating the blimp, Sly discovers that Arpeggio has quickly rebuilt Clockwork, and discovers, another big surprise, that Neela has been working directly with the Feathered Mastermind. By accident, Sly's attempts to disrupt the magnetic field holding Clockwork together actually brings him to life, and snaps the pieces together like Lego bricks. Now we finally figure out the grand plan Arpeggio has been working on this whole time. All he wants to do is join himself with Clockwork and be born again immortal.
All this because you can't fly. You're pathetic.
You took the words right out of my mouth. But let me get this straight. All this time, Sly stealing the parts was part of the plan.
Yep.
And at first, they actually had all the parts.
Yep.
And they didn't think to just put it back together right then and there?
Nope.
They could have just put Clockwork together, had Arpeggio fuse with him, terrorize, take over the world, and boom, success, game over, you lose.
Well, there's probably a good explanation why. Apparently, the only way Clockwork can be at his full power is absorbing large amounts of hate.
Well, then just tell everyone Rebecca Black has signed a contract to make her own CD! That'll give them enough hate for at least 20 lifetimes.
The thought alone makes me want to vomit my lungs out and punch her in the non-existent vocal cords.
So wait, hang on. I just thought of something. What about all the spice they've been shipping? Doesn't that come to play sooner or later?
Why, yes, in fact it does. Now, Ladies and gents, try and keep up with this. Alright, so according to Arpeggio, the consumption of food sprayed with illegal spices makes you both angry and vulnerable to hypnosis. The Contessa used this and came up with a way to command people through the use of flashing lights. Arpeggio's blimp serves as a giant transmitter that will produce a light show of hate and turn everyone insane and angry. In order to find the necessary source of light waves, Arpeggio has Jean Bisson drain the Northern Lights' energy into a battery that would be used to produce the light, Rajan helped produce the spice itself, and Dimitri helped distribute it via his nightclub all over Paris.
Okay, so in short, Arpeggio is going to fuse with Clockwork, the light show is going to make everyone go crazy, causing enough hate power to power up Clockwork, and in doing so, Arpeggio flies over Paris and has the spice spread over the world. Oh, it's like a virus take over the world?
Yep, that about sums it up.
I at least give props to creativity. But as Arpeggio makes his way to the Clockwork frame, he makes the fatal mistake of turning his back on Nayla. And now, let's play a game. Which of these actions is Nayla going to do? Is it A, backstab Arpeggio, B, throw him a lovely tea party, C, turn good and side with Cooper, or C, put on a sombrero and dance the magical happy dance? If you guessed A, now freaking duh!
Or D, backstab Arpeggio and flatten him like a pancake. That is kinda dark. None of the Fiendish Five or other Claw Gang members got killed. But dude, she freaking crushed him.
Behold, Klakla is born!
Really? Klakla? What, was Nylok unavailable? At least that name sounds kinda menacing.
With time running out, the Cooper Gang comes up with a quick plan to weaken Klakla. By disabling the airship engine, Sly manages to get a message to Carmelita, who arrives via helicopter, and together Sly and Klakla engage in a final shootout in the clouds. After round 1, Klakla crashes into the ship's main engines and shatters the blimp. She attempts to make a run for it with the battery holding Bentley and Murray, but Sly catches up and stuns her yet again, causing the airship and Klakla to crash land in Paris. Even after that, she's still kicking, and the gang realize the only way to defeat her is to destroy her hate ship.
A hate chip? Really?
Really? Really? Really?
How the crap does that work? Would have been nice to let your audience know how the heck it actually works.
So Murray pries open Clockla's head, and Bentley finishes off Clockwork by planting bombs around Neo's hologram head, allowing him to physically remove the hate chip. But then on his way out, Clockla's head comes down on Bentley and crushes him. Although Murray saves him, Bentley is effectively crippled by the accident, and the gang get out of the blast area as the Clockwork exoskeleton explodes.
That would be it, right? Nope. Clockwork still isn't dead. Dude's harder to kill than friggin' Jason Voorhees. That is, until Carmelita destroys the hate chip with a simple stamp of her boot. Then all the parts starts rotting, and finally, Clockwork is dead for good.
However, just like the last game, Carmelita puts the Cooper Gang under arrest, except there won't be any 10-second head starts. In exchange for letting his friends go, Sly turns himself in, which Carmelita accepts. However, during the helicopter ride to the station, Sly and Carmelita get some actual alone time, and discover they have a lot of shared interests.
But alas, all good things must come to an end. Carmelita realizes that the helicopter has been rigged to fly in circles. Upon discovering this, Sly makes a quick escape in the final scene, where we see him parachuting away into the night.
Phew, thank God we got that out of the way. Well, thanks for being here, Joey. Hope to
Not so fast, Zachary. Sorry, we still have to discuss the characters.
Oh. Right, my bad. Out of all the improvements from the game, its biggest one is the writing. It has so much more room and time to develop itself and build up the suspense. While the characters may not evolve as much as you may want them to, you can tell there is plenty of chemistry between Sly, Bentley, and Murray's voice actors.
So, do you think Sly has changed at all from the first game?
I'd say he has. I mean, he's still cocky, but his humor has improved, and he's come to accept his responsibilities of carrying out his legacy. I mean, compare him to Timmy from Secret of Nim 2. Both of them are thrust into carrying out their family's legacy, but when they grow up, unlike Timmy, Sly actually travels around the world to get the Thieves Raccoonus back. He doesn't whine, he doesn't complain, he fights for his life and pretty much saves the world.
Well, granted, Timmy saves his home. That's worth a little bit. but me thinks the one with the kick-ass king is the better dude it is.
What about Bentley? He's got a chance to finally shine in the game.
Well, it's about freaking time! With him being able to go onto the field, he actually adds something to the table with his intelligence. I know, I'm probably gonna get punched for saying this, but Bentley really comes out of his shell on this one. Especially when he has to save Sly and Murray from the Contessa.
Because he was one of my favorite amigos, I'm gonna let that joke slide.
I mean, when we first met Bentley, he was just the planner. He sat behind his desk looking at computer screens, giving you tips, and sometimes giving you a lip, breaking the fourth wall constantly, and at one point saving Sly's life. Now, he's out there fighting alongside you and coming up with all the heist plans. He's not useless anymore! He also gets a few funny moments too. One of them I really like is when they are in John Bisson's sawmill in Canada. They have to redirect this laser and an ice block that holds a lumberjack guide. And they just so happen to release a woolly mammoth from the ice as well, resulting in this classic quote.
Something else is coming out of the deep freeze. I've never seen such a majestic creature. So full of life, so ready to live. So much for that, he's back in the deep freeze.
Murray doesn't get a lot of development this time around. Other than developing the Murray persona, he's just there for the muscle. But he does deliver some pretty lol-worthy quotes.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Tip me over and I'll smash up everything! Ah!
I can't tell whether he's taking acting lessons from The Ultimate Warrior or The Rock.
Well, at least Carmelita gets some more screen time. Hooray. Which is just fine with me. Sigh. Fox ladies are cute! She may have been ice cold in the last game, but in this game she seems a little more loosey-goosey. She's still got that ice cold demeanor, but she's willing to compromise. Psst! Hey Zakatak! Think I got the shot with the foxy lady person?
I have a feeling you put a hand on her, you'll find yourself face down on the pavement with a broken arm.
Oh, she can break my arms any day. She could even step on my cubes. Wait.
Now about the villains. Not a lot of personality or development for them. We already discussed how much of a douche Dimitri is with his attitude and his quote-unquote greasy sweet language. But who knows, he might get a better role later on. As for his performance in Sly 2, well, Joey, I think we can sum it up in just one little word.
Rajan? Yeah, what am I supposed to say about him? He's about as bland as a pair of Crocs. But he can be one mean pussycat when he wants to be. Oh god, why did I say that?
The Contessa is both alluring and evil, like Ina Spalko from Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Gloria Mannon did a great job voicing her in my opinion, with a slick Italian voice that fits her character well. I've never been a fan of hypnosis or magic for that matter, but regardless, you would not want to be caught in a dark alley with a Contessa.
Oh yeah, and John Bisson? I can't really say anything about him either. But I do feel some sort of sympathy towards him. He's kind of misunderstood. Waking up in a new world where most of his friends and families are dead, he's probably still trying to figure out how to use Facebook or Twitter.
I've seen the storyline used a few times before, but I am so glad they didn't pull out the old guy trying to learn new technology card throughout the game.
Now we come to the supposed leader of the Claw Gang, Arpeggio. First off, the whole reasoning behind bringing Clockwork to life is just really stupid. Character-wise, he isn't bad, it's just he was eliminated so easily. You just turn your back on the pencil lady and you're dead. And by eliminate, I mean smushed into tiny bloody pieces! Why, Panther Lady? Why? Yo, whatever the hell she is! I think she's a leopard on that chart!
He had so much potential, though. He could have played a more prominent role if he was introduced early into the game. But when Arpeggio is finally revealed in his debut cutscene, he's dead by the end of said cutscene.
Yeah, he had a depressing backstory and his motivation was simple enough, but it would have really helped to flesh out his character. Heck, they could have just cut him out completely and had Nayla be the leader this whole time. But that would have just messed up the whole story flows, and, well, let's just say it would have kind of ruined the story.
Now for Neela, what a femme fatale. The accent, the body, the whip, and the fact she backstabs so many people, she makes the spy from TF2 look like a trustable dude. Yeah, not the kind of girl you want to bring home to your parents.
The game doesn't even try to hide the fact that Nayla's gonna turn on you. All she can do is smile and wink at you and like, she's the bad guy. I think at one point they even hinted at a possible romance between Sly and Nayla. I smell fan fiction!
Oh, trust me, there's plenty of that. As the main villainess for the game, she's decent, but all she really does is backstab people. She could have done much more in terms of evil, but she almost actually completes her mission, which gets her some points, but in the end she still falls short.
So that's the story of Sly 2 in a nutshell. A really big nutshell. How does it stand up with the first game's story? Well, short, sweet, and to the point, it stands up pretty well. The characters get a lot more development this time around, and the writing has improved a lot.
Overall, the story for the second game is very enjoyable and is regarded by fans as the best story of the series, to which me and Joe unanimously agree. However, I do find it a little odd how this story has nothing to do with the Thieves Raccoonus. Other than that, I love this game. The visuals and voice acting also have been improved by quite a lot, there's a stronger story structure, there's great tension at certain points, and the gameplay itself has fixed a few errors and added a lot of new features. Unfortunately, I cannot show you any of this due to my computer being a piece of crap. Frankly, I'm glad to have gotten it working for this review. If you do want to see the gameplay, watch the gameplay or buy the game itself. If I may recommend, if you have a PS3, get the Sly collection. All 3 Sly games in crisp, clean HD for the price of one. If that's not genius, I don't know what is. So with that being said, I am the Toon Critic, and this is Train Level 476, keeping you totally tuned for your viewing entertainment.